Okay, Tom, let's take a look at your lesson today and find out what we have to do to help you get a little better. The biggest problem that we face, biggest challenge in golf is this part right here, the club face. Okay, so suggested a couple things today. You can see that the shoulders are kind of hunched up here. We'd really like to get into a position where they're more relaxed. Just looks more relaxed, doesn't look as hunched up. The rest of your setup really isn't too bad. Get your chin off of your chest a little bit. When I kept saying get taller, we like to get this back as straight as we can, chin up a little bit. We made your grip a little stronger too. Make both hands just a little tweak to the right. That may be temporary, it may be permanent. But these are all things that you can do with the setup. But essentially when we take this back, it starts early. With an excessive rolling of the club face. Now we're very open. You know, if I took this back here, you'd see that club face. Well, it's not a good picture of it, but let's see if I can get one that's a little better picture for you so you can get a little better look at this. Okay, so I've got a club face that looks a little bit like this, and I got yours that looks a little bit like that. So probably, I'd say 15 degrees more open at that point. You know, it's hard to see in a high-speed video. Yeah, 15 degrees or so more fanned open. So when you take the club back, you see how the club face is actually looking over here right now? I'll show you a better picture of it. It's really looking straight out to your right now. You need to get that in a position that gets the club face a little more closed. Even if you went for a club face that is shut at this point, I wouldn't mind that. I want to get a good high-speed video here. I have one. So I got the club face pretty much looking right up at the sky there. And I got the club face looking straight out to the right here. So there's his club face if I drew a line off the normal on the club face, and there's the club face looking this way. And really your grip, your left wrist is a little bit cupped, but your grip is actually fairly neutral. So it's just coming from an excessive rotation of your forearms that's doing that. So he's kind of, your right forearm is on your body and it's rolling hard. The right forearm is horizontal to the ground. If you watch the way he takes this up, it's quite different actually. It never really rolls behind him. And you can see it starts to go here. And there's the arm completely horizontal, rolled behind you in a flat plane. Okay, I'd like to get that club face with one end looking at the ball and it's looking pretty far outside the golf ball you're trying to hit. So it's rolled open and flat. Then when you come down, instead of swinging the club down, you have a habit of pulling the club down, which is probably something that you were told you should have done. And we see this all the time in my teaching, that the club doesn't get pulled down. Because when you do, you get this big gap in here, and you can't square the face unless you just stand there flat-footed, stop your body, and flip the face over, which is kind of what you just did. So now I'm going to bring you down to impact, and I'm going to bring a professional model here, in this case Sergio, down to impact, and you can see how much more rotation. You can see his whole back, his seat, his rear end, everything. There's nothing turned for you here at all. And that forces your club out. So what you do here is you pull it down. So it went from a little bit open to quite a bit open. And now you're forced to flip it through. So the body stops, the hands go, and you got an armsy impact. Now if you look at the end of it, you're finishing straight up in the air. Now, am I indicating that you should swing the golf club like Sergio Garcia? Of course not. But what you want to do is work on getting the face a lot squarer to the target at that point. Okay, so you can see where the face got, it was from here, it's wide open, and then it gets flipped over to very close because the whole impact is with the hands, which is killing your distance, really. So it's kind of this inside, underneath pull down, I would think of it as. Here's a pretty good still shot with a good high-speed camera that I have that will show you a little bit about your driver and how you're doing it. I want to take a look at a couple lines here, since this is a nice still camera. And the best I can do during the lesson, when I get back to my rookery, we stop every so often, go in my academy and view this, so it's a lot better learning environment. But for now, a little bit of lift with your body there, huh? But here's where your whole game is very handsy. You take the club back all with your arms, and the shoulders should be much fuller turned at this point. If you look at a model, you know, at that point where you're up there, look, Adam's shoulders are completely turned. Yours have not turned at all, really, and you're almost at the same point in the golf swing that he's at, okay, because he's really got the shoulders doing the job. Watch the shoulders rotate here. Okay, you see how far you are? You've barely turned at this point because this is pretty much an all arms takeaway. And when you do turn a little bit, you lift a little bit. So you've gotten a lot straighter at the adjust. Don't worry about that right now. But let's just get your body to take this back. Less rotation of your arms, like I said several times, and more rotation of your shoulders. That's going to help us square the face. Right now it's just being fanned open with the hands only. Shoulders are at the most 60-degree turned. This is B90 over here on the right in Adam Scott, or more. And when you come down, you've got to learn to release this club. Take a look. Take a look at this again. All arms on the way back, fanned open. So here, when your left arm gets parallel to the ground, you're pretty much at what we call the halfway back position. and the club really gets dropped behind you then. And this was a little better, a little later in the lesson we were working with the driver. You notice it didn't drop here as much. But what you are forced to, where you get those heel hits sometimes, is you're forced to throw the club out. As opposed to watch his hands come into his body and work through with his body. Good look at this might be like this. Watch Garcia's hands here. You see them come into his body. The club comes into his body. Because of the centrifugal force of the body turning, the club head goes out, but the hands stay in. You don't want to get up here and feel like you have to throw this club out. It's really not a bad golf swing, and there's a lot of things that we can do to help this swing, because you're not as far off as it might seem with the way you're hitting it right now. See that club face? It just went down to totally shut because it's flipped over with your hands. Now, unfortunately here, you were the victim of the hour of the day when the sun was at its maximum, because here's what I got for a side view. This would have shown you a lot here. So why don't you come on by tomorrow or Monday. I'll be out there both mornings on the back of the tee. I want to get you another film where the sun isn't so much in there, because this would really show you your flipping action. You pull it and then flip it. There's a lot of hang back with the body, but you can't see it here. Now watch what happens. This is interesting. When you get to the point where your body blocks out the sun, the video is perfectly clear. So that's just one of the bad things about filming a face-on video this way. But I did want to show you this, so we have to refilm this for you so you can get a side view. You can see a little chicken wing action with your left arm there, but you can just almost see it in the sun. It's just flipped. It's just flipped with the hands, and that's what we kind of have to watch for you. So we're going to go with club face stays looking at the ball. Don't fan it open. Keep it shut. At this point, the club face would want to be all the way straight down, still looking at this ball. It does not want to get out there. Okay? And that's our first, and you're going to, and the other thing I want you to do is think about is turning your shoulders more to take it back. And there's this pulling action down, which really kind of narrows that sucker and opens it even more. We want to get almost a feeling of a cast or a throw at that point to get this swing really, really wide. I'll show you here. Let's see what we can on this one. Here it comes in real narrow. It's like someone told you to pull down the handle at one point. So you pull it down, it gets real open, and then you're forced into this flippy kind of chicken wing position when you come over there. But it all starts with the club face, Tom. That's what we have to do. I need you to come by to get a face-on video. I think I'm going to be on the back tee for a couple days, but I'm teaching tomorrow till about, I don't know, 10:30, 8 to 10:30, something like that. And then I'll be out there probably 8 to 10:30 the next day. So if you could see me and my group's breaking up, you could get, don't pull it. Just get it wider. Let's learn to swing the club instead of pulling it down, pulling it here, and then flipping it there. And that's what we're going to fix for you. Club's staying too far behind you. You got to watch your hand path here. Draw a little trace on your hand path. Like I say, and there's a lot of guys that, if we could square this face, there's a lot of guys that would like to have the club, because the plane of your golf swing is really not bad. It gets a little flat in that takeaway part where it gets rolled open, but then you pull it really right back into a pretty good plane here. If you look here, you want to get that club ideally, kind of pointed down at the golf ball, and you're pretty close to it. So the shank is a hang back, open face path where you're just exposing the hosel to the ball sometimes. We might even see it on this one, I don't know. Yeah, even there, you see it, it's closer to the heel. So although you don't shank any, you're pretty damn close to that heel on most contacts. So we got to get you using your body, because your body pulls the club into you. Your hands will just throw the club out to you. So you have a club head that is being thrown out too far from your hands because of this all hands motion. So we'll fix that up too. All right, so see if you can get by, the next couple of days. I'll try to see if you can catch up with me. I think I teach Sunday, Monday, Wednesday. I don't know when you're going away, but I'd like to get one face-on video for you that we can see before we both go away for a while. So, okay, good working with you.